Sunny skies overhead at Carrow Road. 8th against 9th in the Championship at the start of the afternoon. A win for either team takes them into the playoffs. Norwich defending this superb home record over the last year. And Middlesbrough looking to produce that quality that everybody knows that they've got at Championship level. It could be a cracker. Settle in for Norwich against Middlesbrough. Exclusively live to national radio on your home of the EFL, Talkport 2. Norwich will get the game underway in canary yellow shirts, green shorts and yellow socks from left to right towards the river end of the ground. And Emiliano Marcondes plays the ball back to Kenny McLean and the game begins. Middlesbrough playing from right to left towards the Barclay end of the stadium. Middlesbrough in their away kit that is something like Argentina would wear, the sky blue and white striped shirts, white shorts and white socks. Header away by Neto Borges up to the halfway line, and Kenny McLean, the Norwich captain who has been such a consistent starter over so many seasons now. Slimani hits the right hand touchline towards Kellen Fisher, who has started very high up the field, the right back, and now the ball is prodded back to Callum Doyle in the centre circle. He's under pressure from Ben Doak, the Liverpool loanee who plays on the right side of the front four for Middlesbrough, but Doyle is there to send it back to goalkeeper George Long. It really is a game that has been hotly anticipated all week. Dean Ashton, what are you expecting from it?
Well, both teams want to keep the ball. Both like to keep lots of possession. Middlesbrough just edging it this season, 4th for average possession, 57%, with Norwich 6th with 55. So it is going to be a battle of who can keep the ball better, who can press high from the front, because both teams will try as well at times. And whoever gets control, you would then expect to be the danger. With Norwich obviously playing with Doyle as the left back, or a centre back also, and then Fisher really gets forward on the right hand side.
Good quick play by Norwich, and Borja Sainz is away inside left channel into the area, and he whips in the left footed cross. This time it's overhit. It was almost a cross come shot. For once Borja Sainz looked a little bit gripped by indecision, and he overhit the left footed ball in, and it's gone behind for a goal kick to Middlesbrough, but a warning very early on for them here. Norwich 0, Middlesbrough 0.
Just really poor quality actually from a man right in form as well. And a look from Sargent that just said, come on, you're better than that. I was free in the middle. He just aimlessly hit that left-footed cross over the crossbar.
20 league matches without losing at home. Marcondes 25 yards out with a low shot, and that fizzes just beyond the right-hand post of Seny Dieng. Norwich are such a confident team here. Whenever they come forward in their yellow shirts, they always look like scoring. It's their best league run of form at Carrow Road since 1972, and the message is clear. Johannes Hoftorup's team are looking for a fast start.
Yeah, they are, and it was a brilliant bit of centre-forward play from Josh Sargent. Just took it in with the inside of his foot and then outside of the foot to Marcondes. Brilliant bit of business from Norwich to get him on a free agent. And a player that the manager knows. Decent strike from our angle, because we're right in line with it. It was always going slightly wide, but again, a positive start.
They do know each other, Marcondes and the head coach, two Danes from their time in Denmark. Johannes Hoftorup and Michael Carrick almost side by side on the near side touchline. These are quite compact surroundings at Carrow Road. We are sat about 20 rows from the edge of the pitch, at the back of the Geoffrey Watling stand left of the halfway line, as Norwich regain possession through Doyle, back to Jose Cordoba, the Panamanian centre-half who's been so outstanding since joining Norwich over the summer, really has come into his own over the last 5-10 games or so. Doyle in the left-back position finds Kenny McLean. Norwich 0, Middlesbrough 0, as the Norwich goalkeeper George Long, second choice goalkeeper, but in the side in the absence of the injured Angus Gunn, looks up into the sunshine, and he'll play the ball to the right-sided centre-half Shane Duffy, who scored a super goal to get Norwich a point away at Preston North End in the week. Big win for Middlesbrough, meanwhile, at home to Sheffield United, and you can hear the Middlesbrough fans making themselves heard on the far side of the field. But it's Norwich who started the better in the opening 4 minutes. Ball forward by Borja Sainz towards Sargent, and across comes George Edmondson on a season-long loan from Ipswich to sweep the ball away. And no boos, actually, for Edmondson, given his East Anglian connections, Dean.
Surprised, very surprised that they've let that slip.
He still is an Ipswich player, technically.
He is. But what a great, again, good bit of business for Middlesbrough to bring him in once the season had already started.
Back-to-back promotions at Ipswich Town for George Edmondson, but you've got to whisper that in these parts. Here's Neto Borges over the halfway line. The Middlesbrough left-back, tattoos down his arms. A poor ball forward towards Riley McGree, intercepted by Duffy, the Norwich centre-half, and Slimani will cut the ball back square to Kenny McLean. Midway inside his own half the field. We'll keep you up to date with all the goals as they go in the Premier League and the Scottish Premiership this afternoon on Talksport 2. Sam Matterface and the Sunday session will do likewise over on Talksport. Sam is at the Emirates today ahead of Arsenal against Liverpool. That kicks off at 4:30. And this commentary match is one of 450 plus live games this season on the network. Norwich 0, Middlesbrough 0. Forward by Cordoba. Poor ball up to the halfway line, intercepted by Hayden Hackney. Quickly forward to the tricky Finazaz. Wide right is Doak. Corner of the penalty area. Couple of step overs onto the left foot. He whips in the cross and it's overhit and behind for a goal kick. Again, maybe, just like Sainz a few minutes ago, Doak there, it looked as though as he cut inside to the edge of the box that actually a shot might have been the better option. In the end, that cross-come shot was way overhead.
I mean, I cannot for the life of me think why you wouldn't shoot there. It was a great little jink inside onto his left foot. It opened up. He had no pressure on him either to take the strike. The goalkeeper Long has got the sun right in his eyes. Take the strike on. You've done the hard bit, then reward yourself with an effort on goal.
Exciting young talent, Ben Doak, but not able to find the target there. Good interception by the American Morris on the halfway line, and Dijksteel will roll the ball all the way back to goalkeeper Seni Dieng in an all-grey goalkeeping kit. Middlesbrough playing from right to left in the first half. Now the ball is out on the corner of the Middlesbrough penalty area with Edmondson. Neto Borges in the left-back position, tackled by Slimani. It's a Middlesbrough throw, very close to where the Norwich dugout is. They've got a great record against Norwich City in recent times of Middlesbrough, and they haven't lost on this ground since September 2018. Hackney in the centre circle, the captain. Square ball to Dijksteel on the overlap on that far side touchline. The right is Doak. Great reverse ball to Dijksteel on the underlap. He cuts away from Doyle, lays the ball back to Hackney in the area. He couldn't get it under control, and then Dijksteel slipped. That allows Callum Doyle to drill the ball forward up to halfway. Rav van den Berg there to make the interception for Middlesbrough. Norwich 0, Middlesbrough 0 in the early stages, but these are two good footballing sides. As Finazaz thought about a cross from midway inside Norwich territory. Middlesbrough in their change kit, sky blue and white, elect to keep possession deep.
Yeah, and just looking at obviously with Dijksteel coming in for Ayling, and maybe that's a tactic not only defensively but going forwards. Dijksteel powering ahead of Doak on the overlap. Sainz nowhere to be seen defensively, and Doyle 2v1 wasn't able to stop Dijksteel. He really again should have put a better ball in.
Sargent dropping deep into his own half. Norwich's number 9. All 4 of his goals at Carrow Road this season have come at home, and he's won Norwich a throw. They're very close to where the Middlesbrough boss and Michael Carrick is standing, just in front of the away dugout. Kellen Fisher plays it back to Duffy, who was looking up into the sunshine, and clearly, Dean Ashton, that sunshine away at the Barclay end of the stadium, and the sun will likely set as this game goes on. It is a problem in the first half early stages. Now Borja Sainz touches the ball forward down the middle towards Marcondes. It's come back to Sainz. 25 yards down. Oh, he's done it again. He's bent it into the top corner. It's another sensational Sainz goal. Norwich have the perfect start, and it's their main man who has a liking for the spectacular, who has scored yet another wonder goal. How many more from Borja Sainz? 9 minutes played. Norwich 1, Middlesbrough 0. Hats off to the Spaniard.
Oosh, that's some strike. I tell you what, he's some player. They've unearthed another one of Norwich City. Ball played into him by Doyle. Lovely little 1-2 with Marcondes. He just drives onto the ball, takes one touch, and then, almost like Cristiano Ronaldo, running onto it straight, inside of the foot, but with that dipping style as it arcs towards the top corner. It's a stunning strike from Borja Sainz, and a player that is banging form.
Well, it's starting to get to the stage with Borja Sainz where you run out of superlatives to describe the number of quality goals that he scored. The Championship's top scorer has another. and up into double figures now in all competitions for the season. Borja Sainz, that's now 10 in 14 appearances, and Norwich have the perfect start. Goalkeeper Dieng just clawed at thin air, and Slimani can't control for Norwich midway inside Middlesbrough territory. But again, Dean Ashton, he scored a back heel in a hat-trick that he got against Derby. He can hit them from range, he can lob goalkeepers, as we've seen here in recent weeks. He's got just about everything.
Oh, I mean, the strike is just special, so special. The technique that he uses is so difficult, and he just made it look so easy with the way that it was struck. And it always looks so gorgeous when the ball doesn't rotate at all when he struck it. It just almost froze in the air as it went through in towards the top corner.
And Norwich 1, Middlesbrough 0. And it wasn't a quiet reaction, but it was almost as though the Norwich fans were expecting that from their number 7. Wasn't quite oohs and ahs, it was just as though, yep, that's par for the course. He's put another in the top corner. Norwich lead 1-0. Suddenly they've got everybody in yellow and green back behind the ball. It's almost a 4-5-1 when they're out of possession, and Middlesbrough have the ball but not doing a great deal with it. Sideways and backwards just inside the Norwich half. Now Hackney does clip the ball down the middle towards Conway, headed away only as far as Azaz. Hit it on the half volley, tipped away by the goalkeeper. Now it comes back to Riley McGree, and there was an offside flag up against Conway there, but Azaz's snapshot was certainly goal bound, and George Long, the Norwich goalkeeper, clawing it away to keep the score at 1-0.
Yeah, Azaz just backing up the play, wasn't it, from the ball to Conway, headed down by Fisher towards the edge of the area, and he does really well, Azaz, because he's got to try and keep this down, and at least if he does, it's going to bobble into the surface, and that's exactly what happens. Bobbles into the surface, skips away, Long gets down with the sun still in his eyes, makes a good, strong right-handed save.
Well, Middlesbrough's ploy of bringing in Dijksteel maybe to try and stop Borja Sainz hasn't worked so far, but they nearly got an equaliser at the other end, live on Talksport 2. Chelsea 2, Newcastle 1 in the Premier League. Cole Palmer has put Chelsea into the lead early in the second half. Who else? And who else at Norwich City at the moment, other than Borja Sainz? Now the ball is with Azaz. Lovely way to pass down the right for Middlesbrough. Doak could be in behind Cordoba. He's wriggled away from him. He cuts it back, and then it's turned behind by the retreating Doyle from Middlesbrough corner. You have to say, Borough have responded very well since going a goal down.
Yeah, lovely sharp movement, is it, from Doak in behind Cordoba. Decent pass as well from Azaz down the side. Cordoba gets his body across, but then does the right thing, doesn't challenge too vigorously, might have given a penalty away, but just did enough to put him off.
12 minutes gone. Riley McGree with the in-swinging corner, headed up into the air by Cernats, not very far. He's got a second bite at it. His header was really poor this time. I don't think he made any contact with it whatsoever. Now McGree delivers again, left-footed, headed away by Cordoba. Thumping header clear this time, height and distance on it. It's come back to Neto Borges. That's a lovely cross to the back post, and it's turned in by Conway through the goalkeeper Long, who got something on it but couldn't keep it out at his near post. And what a response from Middlesbrough. Tommy Conway has dragged them level within 6 minutes of going behind, and what a game we have in prospect this afternoon at Carrow Road. It is now Norwich 1, Middlesbrough 1.
And they just cannot keep clean sheets, Norwich City. But what they do brilliantly here, Middlesbrough, is right from that first corner, every time it went back out, it was just out the feet, straight back in. Happened 4 times, and on the 4th attempt, Borges just clips it to the far post. Norwich have switched off, Conway's there, and what happens is with the finish, it's a right-footed side foot volley from a tight angle, hits it into the ground, which means then Long has to use his feet, doesn't get any good contact on it, almost clips it into his own net, and actually it's really poor goalkeeping from George Long. Conway won't care, he does the right thing, he hits it into the ground and on target.
The former Bristol City man gets his 3rd goal for Middlesbrough. You have to credit Middlesbrough, that's an excellent response to going 1-0 down, but the Norwich goalkeeper George Long, even from close range, Dean, if you're a championship goalkeeper, have you got to be saving that?
Well, it wasn't struck firm enough for it to be an issue for a goalkeeper at this level. He just didn't sort his feet out quick enough, and even maybe use his hands. Instead, he's gone with his right foot and he's almost kicked it into the roof of his own net.
And you rightly mentioned Norwich's struggles to keep clean sheets, still just 2 for the season so far. Norwich 1, Middlesbrough 1, but from a neutral's perspective, what a start to this game in the bright East Anglian sunshine, late October, and lovely afternoon for football, and a goal at either end. And Norwich have possession with Cordoba, long sleeve shirt on midway inside his own half, and all 4 sides, bar the section of away supporters, have been quietened now. Rangers 1, St Mirren 0 in the Scottish Premiership. Mohamed Diomande with the goal. Duffy for Norwich, edge of his own penalty area, onto Slimani, who's had to drop deep under pressure from Hackney. Middlesbrough's collective press is a good one. Duffy turns away from Conway and finds Fisher in the right back position. Back to Duffy, who knocks it straight out of play, again under pressure. There was a little nick off Conway, so it will be a Norwich City throw in the right back spot. Sometimes goalkeepers do get unfairly criticised, Dean, but Norwich fans will be wondering whether if Angus Gunn was fit, he might have turned that away.
Possibly. That's why he's number 1 at this football club. But ultimately, you have a goalkeeper ready to step in that you trust and believe in. He'll look back at that and realise he needs to do better. You know, they're very critical themselves, goalkeepers, and they'll analyse everything. And ultimately, if I didn't feel like it was a mistake, I wouldn't say. And it was, because the firmness of the strike wasn't there. It's not as if it was rattled at him and he couldn't move quick enough.
A rather tame effort, but it's snuck beyond the goalkeeper for 1-1. Slimani on the halfway line. Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. We've got commentary of Blackpool against Wigan in League 1 tomorrow night, as well as our EFL All Access show in the build-up. And Luton against West Brom is our next Championship commentary. That's on Friday evening. Big game at Kenilworth Road. Slimani on the halfway line for Norwich, and a square ball to McLean. Norwich won't be unduly worried, you wouldn't think, given their home form this season. Now out on the right for them is Cernat, taking on Neto Borges, who wrestled him to the ground. Nothing given by the assistant referee, who was standing right behind the incident. And in the end, actually, the free kick has gone against Cernat, who caught Hayden Hackney late. Middlesbrough captain goes to ground, and it's a Middlesbrough free kick, 1-1.
Not quite sure how that can't be a foul. Cernat does really well, a little step over away from Borges, and then Borges just pulls him down. So I'm not quite sure how that can't be a free kick. The referee's assistant did absolutely nothing.
Couldn't have been closer, Dean.
No,
it was almost right next to them. George Edmondson will take it. And actually, I think that's Jonathan Woodgate having a word with the 4th official, one of Michael Carrick's assistants. Now more than a century of games in charge at Middlesbrough, Michael Carrick, as goalkeeper Dieng clears high to the halfway line. A heavy touch on his chest by Cordoba. Doyle knocks it long down the middle. Sargent will chase, and Edmondson, I think, got the call from Dieng to leave it, and the goalkeeper gathers on the edge of his own penalty area. Very exciting first 17.5 minutes. Norwich 1, Middlesbrough 1. And this is just the sort of game we were expecting, Dean Ashton.
Yeah, 2 teams locked in the league positions, both really comfortable in possession and aggressive out of possession. And we've seen exactly that at the start of this game, as both teams are sort of wrestling for dominance.
A good football match, and a good advert in terms of the style of play for the Championship. Neto Borges nudges the ball infield to Hackney. Back now to the centre circle. Hackney connects possession again from Edmondson. And Middlesbrough in the sky blue and white striped shirts today. Hackney is beaten to the ball by Cernat, but the Norwich man can't keep possession for long, the young Croatian. Middlesbrough have it now in the centre circle with Aidan Morris, the American. Wide right on the overlap is Dijksteel. He's got Doak further wide. Dijksteel delivers early towards Conway, sliding in with Duffy to make sure that it didn't reach Conway. Right on the edge of the 6-yard box, and Cordoba will hack it clear, only as far as Morris now. Morris tackled by McLean, but Middlesbrough enjoying good possession here. Azaz on the edge of the box, through towards the run of Riley McGree this time. Again, Duffy's in the way, races across to cover, and then slices the clearance out of play left-footed, 1-1.
Yeah, twice there. Duffy needed to be nice and alert to cover Cordoba, who'd gone in tight. The ball had just been played down the side of him. Duffy was there, first of all, with the cross that he managed to deflect away, and then secondly, reading the pass down the side to come across and use his strength against Conway.
Chelsea 2, Newcastle 1, Crystal Palace 1, Tottenham 0, West Ham 0, Manchester United 0, Arsenal Liverpool at 4:30 in the Premier League. Here is McGree for Middlesbrough, pokes the ball wide left to Neto Borges, near side on the overlap, cross into the near post, cleared away by Duffy again, drops to Dijksteel, he's about 5 yards from the edge of the area, back in a congested area to Hackney. Dijksteel has rolled it wide to find Doak. I'm not sure that was in his intent, but it worked for Middlesbrough. And now Azaz with his back to goal, edge of the area, turns away from Slimani, drags it into the feet of Conway, who shoots left-footed. That's turned away by Duffy. Middlesbrough creating real opportunities in very tight areas. They're a very good possession side.
Brilliantly worked, wasn't it? So intricate. Had to be so sharp. The touches were perfect. Found a way into the Norwich penalty area. Conway had to just lay it off for McGree, though. He was greedy.
Here is Doak out on the right-hand side. Red boots on. Plays it backwards to Morris. Everybody inside the Norwich half bar. Middlesbrough goalkeeper Seny Dieng. Norwich sitting very deep. They're almost defending their 18-yard line at the moment as Dijksteel hooks the ball high up into the air. Bright blue skies overhead. Hackney can't get it under control. Doyle will roll it back to goalkeeper Long, and Norwich have possession again in the Scottish Premiership this afternoon. Rangers 1, St Mirren 0, Motherwell 0, Celtic 0, Hibs 1, Hearts 1, a full-time score from earlier. And you are up to date. So Sunday session around the grounds this afternoon over on Talksport. Kellen Fisher near side the right for Norwich City, midway into opposition territory, beaten to it by Neto Borges, and now the ball has dropped to the feet of Morris midway inside his own half. Morris unchallenged, allowed to scamper forward, slows the game down, rolls it wide to the right, and Doak. Middlesbrough look threatening every time they come forward as his cross into the penalty area, steered away by Duffy facing his own goal. One back by Azaz. Now Morris inside right channel, skips away from Doyle. He's into the area, dead ball line. He's tried to pull it back. Doyle is across. Doyle clears. I think both sides felt that the ball might have gone out of play. I think the Middlesbrough fans are appealing for a potential foul. In the end, I think it will be a Borough throw in the right wing position, Dean.
Yeah, Morris did brilliantly to, first of all, keep it in, but just take it away from Doyle initially in the way that he jinked past him. Doyle had a little grab, and then as he got another shove, he just went down a little bit too easily, Morris, there. Actually, he should have got his head up and played that pass once he'd kept it in. Then make sure you get the pass away. Instead, he goes down a little easy.
We've got big monitors in the commentary position here as Fisher drives up towards the halfway line in a central area, the Norwich fullback, and he tries a diagonal ball out towards Cernats, but intercepting is Neto Borges. High up the middle early for Conway, the goal scorer. And too much on that, and Duffy allows it to float over his head and reach goalkeeper Long in a goalkeeping kit that's a sort of claret and bright orange combination. And Norwich, as you may know if you've seen them this season, play with an inverted fullback who pushes on, and then three centre-halves when they're on the ball, Dean.
Yeah, and then Fisher will drop deep when they start to defend, and we've seen both sides so far from Norwich in terms of early on in the game they were pressing right up where the 18-yard line is for Middlesbrough and looking to press when Dieng had the ball. Then what they'll do is, once the opposition have got good possession, as we saw against Leeds here, they'll drop really deep with everyone behind the ball and just try and stop the opposition from getting into the penalty area.
A foul on Marcondes midway inside Middlesbrough territory. That might be a yellow card for Morris. It is. First yellow card of the game, and James Bell was not hesitant to produce it.
I can only think that it was just slightly high in the way that Morris went in for the challenge against Marcondes and just catches him on the top of the foot. It's a little bit harsh, though, I would say, for Morris. It wasn't as if it was an aggressive challenge as such.
Well, it wasn't quite, and we do have the luxury of looking at the monitors again, but it wasn't quite as high a boot as you might have expected it to be for a yellow card challenge. Either way, Norwich had the free kick. Midway through the first half, Norwich 1, Middlesbrough 1. Borja Sainz with the opener, but Tommy Conway with the equaliser for the side from the northeast. Dink down the left-hand channel by Marcondes from the free kick. Kenny McLean is in, he pulls it back, and it's hit the goalkeeper and gone behind for a corner. Middlesbrough fell asleep. McLean was all alone inside the 18-yard box. Very tight angle, and deflected behind for Norwich's first corner.
Well, I can only think that the other Norwich players weren't expecting him, that this is off the cuff, because there was no one in the penalty area for McLean. He just span away behind the wall and then looked up and there was no one there.
He's done well, hasn't he, actually, to win a corner out of that, really?
Mean, again, it must have just been sort of off the cuff, and Michael Carrick's not happy because he probably was offside as well. There's been another yellow card shown, I think, probably for their protests with McLean being offside.
Plenty of yellow shirts inside the penalty area for Norwich as the corner's whipped in by Marcondes, and Conway gets across to nod that behind, and we'll do take two in just a moment here. Norwich 1, Middlesbrough 1 on Talksport 2. A win for either team would take them up into the playoff positions, at least for a little while. These are relatively early days, although this is the 12th game of the season for both teams. It does feel like the table is now taking shape. Marcondes with the orange boots on, ways to deliver. The referee spotted something else that he doesn't like. James Bell laying down the rules of the game. Everybody's crowding around the goalkeeper, Dieng. It's a 6-yard box that is littered with shirts.
It's a Royal Rumble.
That it is. You don't want to get in the middle of that.
No.
And Dieng is right at the heart of it, the goalkeeper.
Hulk Hogan will be in him in.
Well, I feel like it with the likes of Shane Duffy and Callum Doyle up there, two of the tallest players in the Norwich City side. It's at the river end, the two-tiered river end, as Marcondes prepares to deliver. One arm up into the air, right-footed in, swinging again into that near post, and again headed away well by Hackney. Fisher on the volley, steers the ball wide left to Marcondes, controlled it beautifully, back to side, steers the ball to the left to McLean. McLean delivers, and Duffy stretching at the back post, couldn't turn it in. Lovely football from Norwich City, but it stays 1-1.
Yeah, clever, wasn't it? Marcondes faking to take the cross, laid it to Sainz into McLean, who was free. And then he just saw Duffy at the back post and tried to feed that in behind the defence, and it just skipped away off the surface as Duffy was sliding in.
Good spot, Dean, a few moments ago. Edmondson has been yellow carded for Middlesbrough, I think, in the protests, as you say, that came with the initial corner won by Norwich. Rangers 1, St Mirren 1 in the Scottish Premiership is a latest score. Alex Gojic has equalised for St Mirren at Ibrox. Chelsea 2, Newcastle 1, Crystal Palace 1, Spurs 0, and West Ham 0, Manchester United in the Premier League. All the goals as they go in on the Sunday session this afternoon. We'll have a Carabao Cup 4th round action for you on Tuesday and Wednesday. Good reverse ball by Cernats up the right-hand side for Norwich. That's a firm sliding challenge by Edmondson to turn it away from the on-rushing Fisher, who then takes the throw quite quickly. Not a spare seat to be had at Carrow Road once again. Another sellout crowd today. On the halfway line is Cordova for Norwich, and a square ball now to Duffy. The Irishman finds Fisher just 10 yards into opposition territory. Early ball up the inside right to Cernats, down by the dead ball line. Neto Borges backing off, a low ball into the near post, and Marcondes was there. He's turned it behind. That'll go down as another half chance.
Yeah, it was really clever play actually from Cernats on the right hand side, just dipping in behind Borges, gets his head up with his left foot, sees a little run. Marcondes just trying the little Cruyff flicked finish actually, and it ricocheted off Edmondson and back off Marcondes. But good midfield play. You want that from one of your midfield players when the ball is wide, to join Josh Sargent in the penalty area.
Motherwell 0, Celtic 1. Luke McCowan has sent Celtic, as it stands, back to the top of the Scottish Premiership on goal difference only ahead of Aberdeen. It's been an incredible start to the Scottish Premiership season. Aberdeen 8 wins and a draw from their first 9. There was that incredible game at Celtic between the two teams recently. The Celtic top as it stands on a goal difference after a brilliant draw at Atlanta in the Champions League in midweek. Norwich 1, Middlesbrough 1 here. And Norwich with just 1 defeat in their last 8. And Middlesbrough looking for back-to-back league wins for the second time this season if they can get it. Heading towards the half-hour mark now. Dijksteel back on the cover for Middlesbrough, facing his own goal. And he flung himself, I thought, at first glance, pretty theatrically to the ground after the... Yes, it's a shove in the back from Borja Sainz, but if you're looking at Dijksteel really there, he doesn't need to throw himself to ground like that.
No, I think Sainz is trying to keep the ball in, but shoves him again unnecessarily. And Dijksteel makes the most of it to say to the referee, well, what's he shoving me for when the ball's definitely going to go out? Sainz has got a little bit of an edge to him, like Emi Buendia did. He's a player that I think the opposition will target to try and wind up, and it doesn't take much for him to get going.
McLean slides in just shy of the halfway line. It's one back by Middlesbrough, and Azaz suddenly surged forward, felt he was tripped, nothing given by the referee. Michael Carrick stands with his arms folded on the near side touchline, the Middlesbrough boss. No real reaction from him in his dark hooded top. Jonathan Woodgate is the man, the assistant, leading the protests to the fourth official. Play continues. Middlesbrough have it back anyway. Hayden Hackney midway inside his own half of the field. He's a very tidy player, Hayden Hackney, boyhood Middlesbrough fan, and in many ways his quality sums up the way that Michael Carrick wants to play, I think, Dean.
Yeah, he's a terrific player. He'll be one that teams will be looking at, of course. So calm and composed, and starts a lot of the good build-up for Middlesbrough, but can also get a goal, to be fair to him.
Absolutely. He scored the winner at West Brom recently away from home. Here is Hackney, 25 yards out, left of centre, dinks the ball into the box right-footed, and it's too high for Azaz, who'd made that late run, and the ball is gathered by George Long. So Tommy Conway with the equaliser for Middlesbrough, and Emmanuel Latte-Lath left on the bench today, despite coming on as a sub and scoring on Wednesday. There are real riches for Middlesbrough going forward, but Michael Carrick's decision with his starting 11 has been rewarded so far. McLean surging forward for Norwich over halfway, trying to lay it square, caught by McGree. Norwich City free kick, and what's he going to do here? The referee has actually just slowed the play down. I think Norwich wanted to take it quickly. They've got possession. McLean, high ball up the middle, chested away by Van den Berg. It drops down to Marcondes. Now Sargent, back to goal, the number 9. He feeds Marcondes, flicks it through the middle towards Sainz under pressure. Sandwich in between two Middlesbrough shirts, and one of them was Edmondson, who looks back and says something to Borja Sainz. I'm not interested in the fact that the Spaniard went down looking for a penalty kick, and that'll be a fascinating battle as this game goes on. Van den Berg calmly controls in his chest again, the 20-year-old. Now Dijksteel in the right back position, suddenly goes up through the gears, feeds Azaz 10 yards into the Norwich half. Wide right is Doak. Doak about level with the edge of the penalty area, step overs as he takes on Doyle, who's backing away from him. And Slimani made the interception as Doak tried to cut it back across. Now Doak is tripped by Slimani. Middlesbrough free kick in a dangerous area. At this stage in the game, Dean, 32 minutes gone, 1-1 the score. It's a little bit nearly, but not quite for both teams.
I think it's because it's so tight, and both teams are looking to play intricately through midfield and into their forward players. There's not really been that big crossfield pass or looking just to hit one ball over the top. Both teams want to play. They want to get through into their technical players as much as they can, and it just means, first of all, that there's quite a compact defence, but secondly, there's a lot of free kicks because of that, as there's a touch around the corner and a player trying to intercept.
Well, Norwich are holding a very high defensive line for this Middlesbrough free kick. They're all standing on the edge of the D here, as Finn Azaz, right wing position, delivers high right footed up towards Edmondson, headed away by Callum Doyle. The Middlesbrough throw left hand side, near side of the field, right in front of the commentary position, taken by McGree, who gets it back from Morris. Morris now to Hackney and Neto Borges. Middlesbrough trying that triangular passing. They are now back towards the halfway line. Hackney square ball, Azaz, lip of the centre circle. And spins away from Josh Sargent, and now plays the ball square to Rav van den Berg. And Middlesbrough will take their time in possession. No need to force the issue. Still 1-1. Out on the right-hand side is Dijksteel. He looks up and crosses right-footed, and that's gathered by Long. Inside the 6-yard box, a little too close to the goalkeeper, as Riley McGree tried to make a late burst onto it.
But they've used him, Dijksteel. They've used him as an outlet, because Sainz doesn't really want to do the defensive work. He wants the flair of getting forwards.
And now Marcondes has footed the ball wide left to the far side, and Sainz after a couple of step overs then presents Middlesbrough back with possession. Middlesbrough then give it away themselves. Two very evenly matched sides so far.
50-50 possession percentages as well. It just look, both teams excellent in possession as McLean looks for Sainz, who hasn't done enough of that actually, hasn't made that run trying to get in behind Dijksteel for the crossfield pass, which is something he normally tries to do quite often.
You're absolutely right, Dean Ashton. 11 minutes of the first half remaining. Little bit of movement in the stands from some of the Norwich supporters heading to the concourse areas. It's hard to criticise a player when he scored such a spectacular goal, but you expect so much from him that actually, that aside, he's not been involved in the play a great deal. And Middlesbrough have certainly stabilised things since their equaliser.
Yeah, they have been good actually since the goal. Pretty much since Norwich's goal, Middlesbrough have been excellent in trying to control the game.
And suddenly Callum Doyle surges forward down the left-hand side. He's nearly beyond Dijksteel, but Dijksteel gets a foot in at the vital moment. And now there's space for Azaz to drive forward up to the halfway line. Over it he goes, pokes it on to McGree. Lovely first-time ball out wide to Ben Doak on the right-hand side. He's taking on Cordoba. He's into the area. He's nutmegged him, but he can't find Conway. Doak's final ball is lacking. Cleared up into the air by Duffy, away from danger. Then there's a foul on Morris by Sainz. It's a free kick to Middlesbrough. And a big goal in the Premier League. West Ham 1, Manchester United 0. Crescencio Somerville late on in East London. Motherwell 0, Celtic 2 in the Scottish Premiership. Dazen Maeda has got that goal as Middlesbrough take the free kick quickly in the 36th minute of the game. Finally poised this one. Doak level with the edge of the penalty area. Dummies beyond Sainz. He races into the box. He cuts it back. Here's Azaz. Controls and shoots. It's blocked. It's come out to the rebound, which is brilliantly saved by the goalkeeper. And Hackney denied by the stop of Long. That came through a crowd of bodies, and the goalkeeper flung himself low to his right to turn it away. There's another Middlesbrough free kick now, just over the halfway line. But if George Long was at fault for the equaliser, that's a super save to stop Middlesbrough from turning it around.
Yeah, well, this time Doak does brilliantly and actually makes a decisive decision. When he gets down there, he just cuts it back nice and sharply to Azaz. He takes the strike that was blocked, and then when it came back in, Long had to be there through a crowd of bodies just to make sure that he pats it away to his defender.
I recently signed a new contract here at Carrow Road, did the Norwich City goalkeeper. Super reactions down low to his right. 1-1 it remains, but Middlesbrough looking the more likely at the moment. Doak again out on the right, causing trouble for Doyle. He gets beyond him. Dead ball line, he crosses. Hit that, overhit that. Too much on it for Conway. It'll be kept in play by Neto Borges on the near side. Back to Hackney, and 10 yards further back is Edmondson. But once again, everybody inside the Norwich half, bar the Middlesbrough goalkeeper, Seni Dieng. Morris midway into opposition territory, slightly right of centre. A square ball to Hackney out on his left, and now the Brazilian Neto Borges near side of the field. Back in field to Hackney again, 30 yards from goal. Gets the return pass from Riley McGree. Hackney tries to thread that through the middle. Norwich had so many players in yellow back behind the ball that it was difficult even for Middlesbrough to find a way through. And Fisher, the right back, can knock the ball all the way back to goalkeeper Long again. Now Slimani, edge of his own penalty area. And Slimani has drifted forward rather than coming forward with any great intent. To his right is Fisher. Back now to McLean, about 10 yards shy of the halfway line. And Norwich need to find another gear here, you feel, your old club, D.
Well, they are struggling. Doyle's struggling on that far side with Doak, who's just got that acceleration away from him a couple of times now. And if Doak could just add a bit more quality to his end product, he'd be a real threat.
It certainly feels like he's got the beating of Doyle every time he drives forward and attacks the edge of that penalty area. Marcondes drifting infield from the left to the halfway line. Now Duffy, almost a no-look pass down the middle towards Slimani, who's away from two, and then his ball down the middle is way overhit, right through to the goalkeeper, but he eluded Morris and Hackney with a slightly concerning ease there for Michael Carrick, but it remains a 1-1 on your home of the EFL, Talksport 2. 38.5 minutes have been played. Cernats, right wing position, left-footed reverse ball in, and a diving header away by Edmondson to clear. Thumped further downfield by Borges, and now back to the halfway line goes Cernats, where Cordoba is waiting. 33 on the back of his shirt. Lovely dink up the middle towards Slimani. And now Cernat from the edge of the box. Rifled it goalwards on the half volley. Turned away by Dieng for a corner.
Well, it was the driving run from midfield from Slimani with the ball over the top that caused the issue. When he bounced it down, Sargent was there just with a little nodded header to Cernat, who came onto it left-footed again, a little bit like Azaz earlier on in the game, hits it into the ground and on target, and Dieng's there to just push it aside.
Parried away impressively by Dieng. Corner to Norwich City. River end of the stadium once more. A little chillier now on this Sunday afternoon. Corner drifted in by McLean into the near post, punched away by the goalkeeper. It'll drop down to the edge of the penalty area, but Middlesbrough scramble clear, and now Doak can tear forward up towards halfway. He's got beyond Slimani, and he's got three runners to his right. Doak looks up and pushes it onto Dijksteel, edge of the area. He lays it square. Conway, wonderful goal. Conway in off the post. That's a magnificent counter-attack from Middlesbrough. 2 goals for Tommy Conway, and they have turned this game on its head. That has to be one of the best goals this weekend in the whole of the EFL. From back to front, Doak led the charge. Dijksteel laid it square. Conway with the finishing touch. Kissed the post on its way in. Norwich 1, Middlesbrough 2.
Well, there's still scorch marks on the pitch on this near side, because Doak's pace was outrageous to get away from 3 Norwich defenders. Once he set off, there was no catching him. He just drove down the left-hand side and played the pass at the perfect time to Dijksteel, who'd followed his teammate. And then again, Dijksteel just waited, just hesitated 1 second, which was enough to then be able to lay that ball across to Conway, who doesn't hesitate. He's got the confidence of the first goal. He just side-foots it firmly, past long, in off the post. Brilliant counter-attack from Middlesbrough.
And Norwich's wonderful home record is now under real threat as we head into the last 4 minutes of normal time at the end of the first half. Norwich 1, Middlesbrough 2, and Tommy Conway has got both of them. Equaliser for Manchester United at West Ham through Casemiro. 1-1 the score at London Stadium. But Michael Carrick will be delighted with that. The pace and speed on the counter-attack, the awareness of Dijksteel, and Conway applied the finish. And it's 2-1 to Middlesbrough. Here come Norwich though straight away. Ball has sights angle against him in the box, and he rolls it beyond the far post. He should have scored. Sargent was up with him as well. Ball has sights. Yes, the angle was against him, but having seen the stunner that he scored earlier on to give Norwich the lead, he should bring them level.
He should, but he can't come much closer. Again, it's a lovely play between him and Marcondes. He drives into the penalty area, side foot, and it just grazes the far post. You can see he's just trying in one move to just arc that ball away from the goalkeeper, and it does touch the post as it goes past.
Just a little glancing blow, and not enough from Sainz to curl the ball inside and into the bottom corner. So Middlesbrough escape, but they lead 2-1. Empty seats appearing at Carrow Road ahead of the half-time whistle. 2.5 minutes of normal time. They remain here on Talksport 2, and a really fascinating game now that we have for you in the Championship. Middlesbrough really showing their potential since going behind, I think, Dean Ashton.
I've been really impressed since that Sainz wonder strike. They've controlled the game. They've been a genuine threat pretty much every time they've had an attack without maybe creating big chances. A terrific counter-attacking goal to put them ahead. Norwich actually are going to have to find a way to get a little bit more control in the game, considering.
The Wheels long ball up the middle. Sargent tried to peel away from Edmondson, and he felt he was being pulled back. Sargent not happy with the referee, who I think felt they were maybe both at it.
Yeah, exactly that. I think it was initially Sargent just backed in, and then Edmondson's got his arms over the shoulders, but you see that so often in games. You can't give that every time.
And what can the referee do? Well, doesn't need to make a decision if they're both at it. On the halfway line is Dijksteel, who played his part in that goal. Credit to him with the assist for Conway, and Middlesbrough coming forward again. Hackney's ball to the right, Nazaz. Infield early to Conway. Square to Riley McGree on the angle, and he's denied by the foot of Long. Middlesbrough playing some wonderful football, and Norwich City cannot live with them at the moment. The referee stopped the game, and I think is he going to have words with Johannes Hovtorup here, the Norwich head coach, who could be in a bit of trouble after his protests a few moments ago. Maybe there's going to be a yellow card. Is it for the assistant? I think it is. Glenn Riddersholm, the assistant manager, has been yellow carded by the referee.
Yeah, he's been like Tigger on the sideline, just bouncing up and down either side of Thorup. I guess that's kind of the modern way in a sense, isn't it? That the assistant takes
does the
flak.
shouting.
Yeah.
And the manager keeps counsel and keeps quiet. Last 30 seconds of the first half, normal time at least. 2-1 to Middlesbrough away at Norwich City. Here is Hackney. Middlesbrough have been the better team since going behind. Morris square to Dijksteel. Now on the edge of the centre circle, Vandenberg with a simple back pass to goalkeeper Dieng. Dieng looks up and clears, high left-footed, drops at the midway point of the Norwich half, headed away by Cordoba retreating. Hackney first, the second ball, square pass to Borges, into 2 minutes of added time at the end of the first half on Talksport 2. Riley McGree on the overlap, drills in the cross, headed away by Duffy. That's an important touch with Conway on a hat-trick coming in at the back post.
Yeah, he's been sharp, Conway, hasn't he? You grow with the confidence of scoring the first goal. But what he has done is he's caused problems down the sides of the two centre-backs with his movement.
And now Middlesbrough slow the play down. Very quiet here now at Carrow Road, you have to say. You can almost hear the shouts of the players on the field. Edmondson in the centre circle gets it back from Hackney, and Middlesbrough are very comfortable on the ball. 90 seconds of added time to go. Hackney, that's a poor pass for once from him. Straight to the feet of Fisher, who'll turn and play it back to Long. And Long chips the ball down the middle more than anything. It doesn't reach the halfway line from the goalkeeper. Dijksteel in the right back position there to win it back for Middlesbrough. And turning on the half turn is Morris. Back to Dijksteel again, and now Vandenberg, big centre half, brother of Sepp Vandenberg, who plays in the Premier League at Brentford. Now Neto Borges, he's away on the left-hand side, and they've got 2-on-1 against Fisher. He's led it infield to McGree, back out wide to Conway. Conway left-hand edge of the box, the angle is very tight. He's played it back to Hackney on the edge of the area to curl one. Good save by Long, rebound to Doak, and then it's turned in by Azaz. It just gets better and better for Middlesbrough. What a statement performance this is. And Norwich's home form, which has been so good over the last year, that proud record they've got is really under threat. They are ripped apart by Middlesbrough again. Azaz applies the finishing touch. Norwich 1, Middlesbrough 3. What a display this is from Michael Carrick's team.
Yeah, the passing and the movement, the intensity, the craft that they've shown has just been too much for Norwich and their defence. When it came out to the edge of the area, Hackney out of his feet, looking to curl that to the far post. It bounced in front of Long, which is always difficult for any goalkeeper. He'll be disappointed that he doesn't palm it properly away. It comes to Doak, and he does the right thing this time. He just calmly slots it across the penalty area, and Azaz is there. And what he does, which is really important, is he just makes sure that his body is at the right angle, that if it hits his body, it can't go anywhere else than in the back of the net. It ricochets off his shin, his knee, I'm not quite sure where, and goes in the back of the net. He won't care though.
Well, Norwich have it all to do. We are well over the 2 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. Of course, a little bit extra allotted by the referee, and I think Norwich just want the half-time whistle at this point. Middlesbrough won't want the first half to come to an end. They look like they can score every time they go forward, and so unlike Norwich, given their run of form at home as the whistle goes. One or two boos from the Barclay end and big cheers from the Middlesbrough fans. This has been a statement first 45 for Michael Carrick's team, and Norwich, who haven't lost at home in any competition since November, find themselves 3-1 down in front of their own supporters. They made a great start, another fine goal from Borja Sainz, but since then Middlesbrough have dominated. 2 goals for Tommy Conway, the second after a brilliant counter-attack, and then more very incisive football in the final third. Finn Azaz touching it home in first half stoppage time to make the half-time score. Norwich 1, Middlesbrough 3. And, well, I think some of the Norwich fans will be left dumbfounded by that, Dean Ashton.
They will, but I would like to think that they can see how good Middlesbrough have been. Middlesbrough have been outstanding since they conceded that wonder strike from Borja Sainz. And Norwich haven't been able to cope. And I think that's probably the biggest surprise, is that they haven't been able to stem the flow. And actually, Middlesbrough have just grown in confidence. Their passing and their movement has been absolutely elite level. It really has, honestly. They've made it really difficult for McLean, Duffy and Cordoba in particular in the middle of the pitch, because you've got McGree coming in nice and narrow. You've got Azaz, Hackney, Morris and Conway all moving quickly with great precision in and around those three. And they've just been able to create moments. It was just about whether they were going to take those moments, which you weren't too sure about, having seen the previous part of this season, but they were clinical today.
Certainly have been, and a lot of work to do here for Norwich City. Latest scores late on in the Premier League this afternoon: Chelsea 2, Newcastle 1, Crystal Palace 1, Tottenham 0, West Ham 1, Manchester United 1, but West Ham have a penalty, I'm being told, in added time at the end of the game. Arsenal Liverpool at 4:30, and in the Scottish Premiership, Hibs 1, Hearts 1 is a full-time score. Motherwell 0, Celtic 1, Rangers 1, St Mirren 1 are all half-time scores in the Scottish Premiership. So, what a cracker we promised you here at Carrow Road, and what a game it has turned into. Half-time score in the Championship on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. Norwich 1, Middlesbrough 3.
Talksport 2, official broadcast partner of the English Football League.
Where can you get the latest breaking sports news delivered with the laser-like accuracy of Michael Van Gerwen? 1 hour and 80. And hear passionate opinions debated with the confident dexterity of Virgil van Dijk.
The Liverpool fans celebrate.
Answer on the radio show that's got the nation's sports fans buzzing like a Van de Graaff generator. Early breakfast with Shabana Hearn. Weekday mornings from 5 on Talk Sport with Adrian Flux Van Insurance. Insurance for the individual. Search Adrian Flux Van Insurance to find out more.
Fly with the fry. Chicken is here. The 20 hot wings bucket. 20 succulent hot wings for $7.99. Come under our wings and feel the flavour saviour. Sensation awaits. Believe in deals. Believe in chicken. KFC. Until 10th of November, subject to availability. Participating restaurants only. Not available on delivery. See website for full T&Cs.
That feeling when your economy ticket gets bumped to business. That, my friend, is Valuephoria. Same can be said when you buy the new Galaxy S24 FE for only £649 at Samsung.com. Flagship perks without the price tag, like amazing Galaxy AI features and day-to-night battery life. Plus, claim a free Galaxy Watch FE as well. Buy the new Galaxy S24 FE from Samsung.com by the 31st of October and claim a Galaxy Watch FE within 30 days of purchase. T's and C's apply.
Can you feel it? Rugby's elite are turning up the heat. Prepare for thunderous velocity, scorching power, international rivalries reignited. Feel the fire. The Autumn Nations Series. Every match live on TNT Sports.
Critics are calling Heretic devilishly entertaining.
What have you been looking for? What have you found?
It keeps you guessing, says Entertainment Weekly.
What happens if we choose the wrong door?
Hugh Grant has rarely, if ever, been better, says Awards Watch.
Scary.
It's ingenious, says The Guardian. A thrilling cat and mouse game sure to have everyone talking, says Screen Rant.
You figured it out yet?
Heretic. Previews this Halloween. Cinemas everywhere, November 1st.
Delicious free McNuggets.
What? How?
Collect enough points on the McDonald's app and you can get items for free.
Bet they taste better when they're free. Let's have one.
Fine, go on then, but just one.
Sign up on the My McDonald's app and turn your points into much-loved items for free.
18 plus, earn points on menu items. Redeem points on selected items only. Serving times apply. Only via app of participating restaurants. Terms apply.
Talksport 2, official broadcast partner of the Premier League and the English Football League.
A first Premier League defeat of the season for Arsenal. It's been a nightmare night for Arteta. Bournemouth 2, 10-man Arsenal 0.
We have a defeat. Okay, it's part of the game, it's part of the sport. Let's move on. Take that pain that we still have.
If Liverpool were to go to Arsenal and turn them over, I think there's a challenge for Arsenal because I think it will be a statement victory.
The way Liverpool are playing, no Saliba, no Odegaard, maybe no Saka. Let's go there and make a statement.
This excellent start to the season continues for Arne Slot. It is now 11 wins from 12.
We should be proud. Records are nice, but there's something else that's more nice than records, and that's trophies.
Liverpool are contenders once again.
Absolutely, they are a threat to the title.
Everybody's just got to have a little calm down a little bit, haven't they? It's been one defeat in 18.
Arsenal's home record's phenomenal, to be fair to them.
We've got that back, that desire, that determination. Arsenal will have a big say in who wins everything this season. There's no doubt about it.
Left-footed ball, lovely ball. Martinelli! Brilliant goal from Arsenal.
Believe me, on Sunday we will be flying.
Yes, what a cracker coming up for you at 4:30 as Arsenal host Liverpool in a huge game at the top of the Premier League. We'll have updates for you on the Sunday session over on Talksport, and shortly second half commentary of Norwich against Middlesbrough here in the Championship on Talksport 2. For now though, during October, Talksport have been exploring the importance of Black History Month in the UK. This year's theme is all about reclaiming the narrative. With that in mind, we've looked into unconscious bias within football commentary, whether the description of black footballers on the pitch is influenced by racial stereotypes, and what can be done to make a positive change. Talksport's Tony Afoki has been taking a look.
It's the way we see and hear football.
Decent ball into the area, and Burmo volleys it home. What a goal from Brian Burmo!
Top commentary and insightful punditry informs and entertains us. But over the years, has there been a narrative towards black players which has been influenced by an unconscious bias? And what can we learn about describing players more fairly? The attitudes towards players in the 70s and 80s are likely to have fed into an unconscious bias within commentary today. A recent study looked at 80 televised games across 4 European leagues, including the Premier League. They found out that players with a lighter skin tone were praised more often for their intelligence and work ethic, while those with darker skin tones were more likely to be reduced to their physical characteristics, such as their pace and power. Tom Gale is a freelance football commentator.
So I guess as a person of colour, I used to play football. I'm sure like many football commentators, was never any good, but I do specifically recall one vivid memory of being in primary school and basically getting the ball, running as fast as I can, swung a boot at it, and somehow it found a teammate who found it in the back of the net. And I just always recall, it's probably with hindsight, obviously following discussions about this, one of the parents just saying, Tom should be on the wing, Tom should be on the wing. And anyone who's ever seen me subsequently play football, I was getting stuck in midfielder, very limited technical ability, certainly attacking flying winger was definitely not my strong point. But I guess from me, I guess that's where it's sort of the seed was sowed as regard to that lived experience.
Right footed shot! Oh, what a goal! An electrifying goal!
The go-to is always pace and power, isn't it? For a certain period of time, and still it is prominent today that black football players, players of colour, darker colour, are used as those descriptives. And I remember hearing an interview with David McGoldrick. He used to talk about how he got described as pace and power, and he'd always recite that if you ever saw any of the fitness testing data that his clubs had carried out, he was always amongst one of the slowest.
Former Forest striker Jason Lee is now Senior Equalities Education Executive for the PFA.
People get very defensive and say, well, you're accusing me of being racist. No, we're saying unconsciously, the way you may have been brought up and where you live, everybody's got a perception. Everybody views people in a certain way. So to assume that a black footballer is just all about power, you're doing people a disservice, basically saying, well, you're quick, so, you'll be okay. You've still got to work at that, and you've still got to show the dedication and determination to reach the top.
So, since struggles in the past, is there a sense that commentary is now fairer, or is there still room for improvement?
All the established footballing broadcasters throughout the UK were involved in an online call. It is better, but for myself, I have flagged to a number of outlets. I listened to a whole host of football podcasts, and again, at times, sometimes they revert back to that default of pace and power, and I've flagged that up. But I think it's a responsibility of, if football's your sport, and the Premier League certainly is your sport, and there's a number of people of colour playing that sport, it's one of your priorities as regards to just ensure that you're completely up to date with how you should be discussing people of colour when it comes to athletic performances.
Commentary and punditry is such a key part of the game we love. In that respect, it's important to learn from the past and reclaim the narrative for black players in the game to make sure that they are fairly represented.
That was Tony Afoki looking at the biases that can appear in football commentary. This Thursday from 8 o'clock, Hugh Wozencroft and the Daily Mirror's assistant editor Darren Lewis will be celebrating Black History Month and exploring this year's theme of reclaiming the narrative, along with some special guests. And on the Sunday edition, football writers Sean Custis and Henry Winter were joined by the former Southampton defender and England under-20 boss Paul Williams to discuss the lack of a pathway for black managers at the top level of the game. Williams said that he can't see a black manager taking over England anytime soon.
Not in my lifetime.
Really?
No, I don't think so.
Is that because there's not enough in the Premier League, say, who are doing enough good work, if you like?
Yeah, and I don't think there's enough getting the opportunities. Like I'm saying, it's just the opportunity to get at a club and manage it and do success and have success. Sorry. Is the only way that they'll get an England job, but I don't think the dial's moving that quick to get there in this minute in time.
I find it interesting you should say that, though, because you're in an FA system where you think that it is helping black players to develop as coaches, yet you don't think we'll have a black England manager.
No, we at the FA are giving opportunity to minorities. I think this more and more over the years I've been here, and in my time of being on courses, I've been in courses where I'm the only person in the room. And now we have many more. So again, I'm not saying that it'll never happen, but in terms of having moved the dial towards coaches, and like I can go up and down some clubs and speak to coaches in the academies who I feel have got a lot to offer the game, and hopefully they'll carry on, because again, you can have your times where you're going to go for jobs and you're not going to get them. You're going to go for more jobs that you're not going to get. The jobs that you are going to get. So having that opportunity to get in jobs will be key, and hopefully that dial is going to be shifted.
England under-20 coach Paul Williams there. We will continue to celebrate Black History Month throughout the month of October here on the Talksport network. Latest in the Premier League, West Ham 2, Manchester United 1. Jared Bowen with an injury time penalty. They are nearly through 12 minutes of added time at London Stadium. Chelsea 2, Newcastle 1, a latest score, and it has finished Crystal Palace 1, Tottenham 0. A first win of the season in the league for Crystal Palace. In the Scottish Premiership today, Hibs 1, Hearts 1, a full-time score from earlier. Motherwell 0, Celtic 1, Rangers 1, St Mirren 1, both half-time scores. 4:30 kickoff in the Premier League is Arsenal against Liverpool. They'll keep you up to date with that over on the Sunday session on Talksport. And what a first half we've brought you here at Carrow Road in the Championship. Live on Talksport 2, and at the break, Norwich's run of nearly a year without a home defeat is under real threat. Sunny skies overhead at Carrow Road. Marcondes 25 yards out with a low shot, and that fizzes just beyond the right-hand post of Seny Dieng. It's come back to Sainz. 25 yards down. Oh, he's done it again. He's bent it into the top corner. It's another sensational Sainz goal. Norwich have the perfect start, and it's turned in by Conway. Through the goalkeeper Long, who got something on it but couldn't keep it out at his near post. And what a response from Middlesbrough.
It's really poor goalkeeping from George Long. Conway won't care, he does the right thing, he hits it into the ground and on target.
Edge of the area, he lays it square. Conway! Wonderful goal! Conway in off the post. That's a magnificent counter-attack from Middlesbrough. Rebound to Doak, and then it's turned in by Azaz. It just gets better and better for Middlesbrough. Unbelievable first half. Norwich 1, Middlesbrough 3 is the latest score. Myself, Joe Shannon, and former Norwich striker Dean Ashton, your commentary team. Dean, it could be a tall order here for Norwich City to get back into the game and preserve that home record.
Yes, it will. If they continue to play in the manner that they have and allow certainly Doak the amount of space to get at Callum Doyle, who his sort of lack of mobility has been exposed. But they came back from 2 goals down against Preston away. They'll have that fresh in their minds. They know they've got the capabilities, and I'm sure there'll have been a few tweaks at half-time from the manager. But if Middlesbrough play the same way, you expect nothing other than a Borough win.
Middlesbrough now coming to the fore at this stage of the Championship season. They're in the playoffs as it stands, and they get the game back underway for the second half. Norwich 1, Middlesbrough 3, and Middlesbrough playing from left to right towards the river end of the ground. And Middlesbrough in the change kit today, the sky blue and white striped shirts, white shorts and white socks, and Norwich in canary yellow and green, playing from right to left to the very vocal Barclay end of the ground. And no changes at half-time, intriguingly, from a Norwich perspective in particular. So they have Long in goal, Fisher, Duffy, Cordoba and Doyle at the back, McLean and Slimani, the 2 in the holding roles, as Middlesbrough look down the middle for Conway, who's on a hat-trick. He can't reach it. Fisher just got a glancing touch on that, but it's dropped for Riley McGree, left-wing position, and now Borges on the overlap, dinks in a high cross, headed away by Doyle, and again Norwich struggling to deal with that Middlesbrough threat. The ball is poked back by Doak towards Dykesteel, but it'll be controlled by Sainz deep inside his own territory, and the ball goes out of play for a throw. Norwich with Marcondes, Cernats and Sainz in support of Sargent up front, and Middlesbrough with Dieng in goal, Dykesteel, Vandenberg, Edmondson on the ball now in the centre circle, and Borges at the back, Morrison, Hackney holding, Doak, Azaz and McGree behind Conway up front. And here is Hayden Hackney for Middlesbrough, chipping the ball over the top of McLean. He's been brought down. It's a free kick 90 seconds into the second half as the Norwich fans retake their seats all around us. We're about 20 rows from the front here in the commentary position in the main stand, and Middlesbrough will have real confidence now with that 2-goal cushion. They can go on and produce a statement victory, Dean Ashton.
Yeah, and it's only been just over a minute's worth of play, but Middlesbrough have literally began where they left off, with that zippiness about their play and their passing.
And now Finn Azaz takes a free kick inside right channel, high to the back post, headed across goal and gathered by the goalkeeper Long. Vandenberg was forward, but easy for George Long to take, at fault arguably for the Middlesbrough equaliser, but little he could do about the 2 goals that have followed. And it has finished in the Premier League. West Ham 2, Manchester United 1. So that late injury time Jared Bowen penalty, enough to give another of Dean's former clubs a much needed victory. Arsenal-Liverpool at 4:30. That's where the Sunday session is based this afternoon, live over on Talksport, and they'll keep you up to date. Tomorrow night in League One, we'll have commentary here on Talksport 2 of Blackpool against Wigan. Tuesday and Wednesday, we've got Carabao Cup commentaries aplenty for you. That from the 4th round, and then on Friday night, our next Championship football, West Brom against Luton. Here come Norwich with Slimani, edge of the D, wriggles away from 3 challenges, just couldn't dink it beyond Borges, who made a crucial interception. Otherwise, Kellen Fisher would have been in.
Yeah, I like the intricate play, but there's definitely moments during that with both sides, really, where a better decisive pass earlier would open up the defence, instead of the extra touch, the extra pass, which looks great but can then get cut out. And that was one of those moments for Slimani. If he plays that earlier to Fisher, all he has to do then is take it out of his feet, and he's got a free shot at goal.
Two teams who will play the game the right way, you might say. Johannes Hoff-Torup sitting down in the dugout now, and Michael Carrick standing, arms folded on the edge of his tiny technical area. And just at the base of this main stand, we're very close to the pitch here in the commentary position. They are rather compact surroundings. Marcondes with the orange boots on has steered the ball wide to the feet of Duffy. Very quiet at Carrow Road, and actually the head coach Torup said before the game that his team will need the crowd today. There's no great sense of expectation at the moment in the stands.
No, a little bit shell-shocked probably from that first half performance, and almost a home hiding, really, from Middlesbrough. Credit to them.
Marcondes feeds Borja Sainz. Crowd get to their feet as he delivers right-footed. It's a poor and swinging cross, easily gathered by Seny Dieng, the former QPR goalkeeper. Middlesbrough with this great record against Norwich. They've won the last 4 meetings, not lost on this ground in over 6 years. Does that ever come into the thinking as a player, Dean, or are you not remotely bothered by that sort of thing?
No, I don't think so. You're so focused just on the things that are right in front of you.
Yep.
We don't think too deeply about things, Joe, as you found out working with me.
The floodlights are on here now as the ball is chipped downfield by Dieng. Of course, the clocks have gone back, so it'll get darker earlier. And Doyle puts the ball back into his own half where Cordoba is waiting. 5 minutes into the second period. Norwich 1, Middlesbrough 3. If Norwich were to come back and avoid defeat today, they would go a year without losing at home. Last time they did, 5th of November 2023, and their next home game after today is not till the 9th of November, when Bristol City come to East Anglia. But to say that they have a lot of work to do against this very well organised and very impressive Middlesbrough team is an understatement. Cordoba in the centre circle. They have had a couple of comfortable home wins of late, Norwich, but this is anything but comfortable for them.
Well, and the manager talked about it before the game. This is a real test. This will see where we're at, and unfortunately they've been found wanting in the first half anyway. But we'll see from this Norwich side, do they have the character to get back into the game, or are they still maybe a step off from a team that have had longer with their manager?
First time ball for Marcondes, down the left to Borja Sainz with the lime green boots on, level the edge of the penalty area. That's a great pass to the edge of the D. Slimani couldn't quite control, it spun off his boot, but Norwich still have it now with Duffy. On to Fisher. 10 yards the edge of the penalty area. Central area, Cernat's crowded out by sky blue and white shirts. Then Kenny McLean, firm but fair to win it off Conway. It's broken for Slimani on the edge of the penalty area. Again, his touch isn't great, and he's fouled Hayden Hackney, and the ironic cheers from the 1,600 or so Middlesbrough fans as Middlesbrough win a free kick.
And if the ball is going to go into those tight areas in the middle of the pitch, you have to make sure that your touch is perfect. And in that first half, the Middlesbrough players, their touch was absolutely perfect, and that's why they were able to then cut through.
I don't know if you spotted, Dean, but you were on the big screen
I did
for
try,
a moment.
I tried not to
try not to wave. We've got big screens in front of the commentary position, and Dean Ashton was front and centre there for a second.
Did I look all right?
You did. Slimani, great ball down the right-hand side. It's cut back to the edge of the D. Marcondes, can he reach it? Beaten to it by Morris, only half away. Marcondes, well, I thought he was tripped on the half-turn. Referee said no, foul by Morris. And Middlesbrough counter, they're so dangerous like this. Doak sprinting down the right-hand side with Cordoba backing off him. Doka's got Cordoba in a tangle, then he's held up down by the dead ball line. Cordoba, well, he looked like he shoved him over momentarily there. Nothing given by the assistant, but the referee does give a free kick to Middlesbrough. And is there going to be a yellow card here for Cordoba? That looked like two hands in the back of Ben Doak.
Yeah, he just twisting and turning, wasn't he, Doak? And look, Cordoba's got to realise there's no point in trying to win that there. You've done the right thing, you've defended properly, you've got him tucked in the corner. Just stand your ground, you're physically more imposing, and make him go backwards. Instead, he gives a free kick away in a dangerous position. And just going back to that attack that Norwich had where they got down the right hand side, Josh Sargent is just boiling, honestly. He's made 4 or 5 runs where his teammates just haven't, he's hardly touched the ball, Josh Sargent, and he's absolutely fuming.
A free kick to Middlesbrough, a yard or so from the dead ball line, near side the right, about 10 yards infield. Finazaz standing over it. Everybody back in the yellow shirts of Norwich. Very crowded 6-yard box in front of the goalkeeper here. Azaz will lay it backwards to Doak. Corner of the penalty area, completely unmarked. His cross is turned away by the first man, Marcondes, and that'll be a Middlesbrough corner at the river end in just a few moments, packed with Norwich City supporters. The Middlesbrough fans are at really the other end of the stadium on one side of the ground, and the away supporters are delighted. You can hear them singing away. Their team lead 3-1. Nearly 9 minutes now into the second half, and no sense as yet of a response from Norwich City. As stands with hands on hips Nobody coming short for Finazaz, so the former Aston Villa man is going to deliver this in high, right-footed, up to the edge of the 6-yard box, headed away by Slimani. It'll drop down to Borges, and now time for Hayden Hackney to hang up a high cross to the back post, and that's a brilliant header away by Doyle, under real pressure with Edmondson, the man on loan from Ipswich, coming in behind it. Now Conway on a hat-trick for Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough still look largely pretty comfortable here, and in fact goalkeeper Dieng has not had a serious save to make since conceding the early goal. Middlesbrough have responded with 3 goals of their own. Norwich have hit the post through Borja Sainz since then, but Norwich can't get enough possession. Hackney up to the corner of the penalty area. Riley McGree cuts it back, but nobody's there in a Middlesbrough shirt. McLean with the interception, and Fisher just squeezes the ball into the path of Cernats, who can now charge forward for Norwich City. Motherwell 0, Celtic 2, a latest score in the Scottish Premiership. Here is Marcondes feeding Borja Sainz back to goal. His slick back hair as he's fouled by Doak. And ironic cheers from the home fans. It's a Norwich free kick in a relatively dangerous area. Dean Ashton.
Yeah, good footwork, good body movement from Borja Sainz. Doak trying to do the right thing and come back and help Dijksteel defensively.
Marcondes has threaded the ball left to Sainz. Here's that right-footed in-swinging delivery, headed away by Van den Berg. It'll drop down to Fisher. Fisher nudges it wide to the right. Cordoba, the centre-half, is forward. Corner of the area. Back to Fisher to deliver. And Sargent couldn't reach it, neither could Cernats. Flag stays down. Sainz keeps it in, right on the dead ball line. Big cross to the back post, looping header Slimani. And that's gathered high above his head by the goalkeeper Dieng. There to pluck it out of the air. And the danger is gone for Middlesbrough.
But again, probably just all a little bit too untidy. The cross from Fisher, Cernats would definitely been offside if he'd have touched it. It then came to Sainz, his ball was overhit. Slimani's header was poor, and just nothing ever came of it.
26,487 here, with 1,501 supporting Middlesbrough. Terrific turnout on a Sunday afternoon from the Middlesbrough fans, and they've been rewarded. 3-1 their team lead as we tick beyond the 55-minute mark at Carrow Road. Cordoba has found Sargent, who's deep inside his own half of the field and he can't control. Morris, 25 yards out for Middlesbrough. The American wriggles away from the challenge of McLean and then overhits his pass. That'll be a goal kick to Norwich City. The Norwich bench, Mayer the goalkeeper, Sorensen, Stacey, Schwartau, Gordon, Hanley, Forson for Scythe and Cresceni. And for Middlesbrough, the substitutes are Ayling, Bryn, Bergzorg, Clark, Lasse-Lath, Barlassa, Hamilton, the former Norwich man Howson, and Isaiah Jones.
I just wonder for Norwich, I mean, Cernats has not really been in the game, has he? I just wonder whether they make a change, possibly put Sainz into a more of a 10 position. They could bring on Sorensen and put him in midfield to give them a foothold with McLean, and again give Sainz the number 10 role.
Here is Cernats on the halfway line. Tall and slender, the young attacking midfielder who's not quite made the impact that he might have hoped after joining in the summer for a reported £9 million fee. Here is Sainz on halfway, on the half turn. He's under no pressure and now he's racing away from Morris. He's gone to ground. Sainz has beaten 2 and then 3. Sargent edge of the penalty area, couldn't get beyond Dijksteel though. Mesmeric run from Borja Sainz. Now Doyle's won it back. Norwich 3-1 down. Doyle's ball in from the left is a poor one. No great quality in these Norwich attacks ultimately when they reach the final third. And that's a foul by Kenny McLean. Slimani rather. And Slimani is yellow carded for the foul on Doak in the centre circle.
Yeah, he probably should have done that in the first half when he was away on the counter attack and they ended up scoring from it. But this time he wasn't going to let Doak get away and just dragged him back. But again, I was looking at Sargent there. Brilliant run as it was from Borja Sainz. Sargent wanted the ball early. He didn't get it when it eventually fell to him. He lost it and just turned to Sainz to just say, look, it's all great, but I need some service. I need a pass when I'm ready.
Johannes Hoftorup, the young Danish coach of Norwich, watches on unmoved, sitting down in his seat in the dugout. Wins in the Premier League this afternoon for Chelsea, 2-1 over Newcastle, Crystal Palace 1, Tottenham 0, and West Ham 2, Manchester United 1. Jared Bowen's injury time penalty. Arsenal Liverpool at 4:30. Updates over on Talksport on the Sunday session. Best way to be across all the action is to download the Talksport app, and you can swipe between both stations at your leisure. That'll be important on Tuesday and Wednesday when we've got Carabao Cup action for you on the network. Middlesbrough 3-1 up as we head into the 60th minute. Out on the left-hand side now for them is Conway, drifting infield and then back out to the far side, and Neto Borges with the red and white boots on. Little touch by Hackney, threaded towards the corner flag, kept in play by Conway. Really good footballing side, Middlesbrough, and they've shown that today. It feels like maybe they needed the early goal to wake them up, but since then they've been much the better team. Norwich with it all to do. Here's McLean striding forward over halfway, and he can't feed Sargent. This time it's a terrific interception by Morris, who's done a good job breaking up the play, Dean.
Yeah, he has. When he came on a few times last season, Morris, he was in more of an attacking role, but he's looked really good as sort of sitting in there and keeping things ticking over with Hackney, but also then slotting in defensively when he's needed to.
He is a Floridian, Alex Morris, and USA, USA is the chant from the away fans. Doak, right wing position for Middlesbrough, driving towards the corner of the penalty area. He dummies the ball away from Doyle and then lashes it across the face of goal and only just wide. It would have been a stunning second senior goal for Ben Doak, who looks really at home on loan at Middlesbrough in the Championship.
Yeah, he's been terrific, hasn't he? It's been the real issue for Norwich down their left-hand side and Doak down the right. Doyle's not been able to cope really with the pace of Doak. Nice little left-footed step over, took it away with his right foot and then had a strike towards the far post. From our angle, it looked like a really decent strike, but actually I think was never troubling and was well wide.
Hard to see at the moment, though. Norwich City finding a route back into the game.
No, it feels like there needs to be a change. Whatever that may be, Marcondes could be one that maybe drops out.
Cernat, you mentioned.
Cernat, Slimani, those three in particular are probably the players you would look at. And there is a little bit of movement, I'm not sure who it is, but it feels like it's ready for a change if they want something out of the game.
Over an hour gone. Norwich 1, Middlesbrough 3. No fear whatsoever in this Middlesbrough performance. Coming to Fortress Carrow Road, and it's been breached 3 times already. Here is Doak on the outside of Doyle. Right wing position, he takes him on again. Always positive Doak, but this time he gets his legs in a bit of a tangle. Doyle's there to win it back in the left back position. Steers it forward 20 yards or so to Marcondes. Out wide on the near side to Sainz, right in front of his head coach. And then Marcondes is tripped and fouled. Rare that I have seen Callum Doyle look uncomfortable this season, particularly at home for Norwich City, Dean. Every time I've seen him, he looks such a steady figure, but that lack of mobility has been exposed,
look,
I think.
He's a big guy, and ultimately when you're up against a small, tricky winger, you are going to find it difficult, and he has found it really. But he's not had much help, has he? It's not as if Sainz comes back and helps him, or one of the midfield players.
Good ball in by Slimani up towards Marcondes. Couldn't get his head to it, out-muscled by Dijksteel. It's dropped down to Doyle with a header towards the edge of the penalty area. Then Doyle miscues, gets the ball lost underneath his feet, and Doak can tear forward towards halfway for Middlesbrough. This time Sainz does help out Doyle to win it back, as if he's been listening to Dean Ashton. Doak's gone down, he's holding his head. Well, they've got to put the ball out of play, surely here. If it's a head injury, the referee has to stop it. 3-1 to Middlesbrough. Doak is down, holding his head. Play continues. Here come Norwich with Sainz. Near side the left, he skips in field. Back to Doyle. There'll be controversy if Norwich score here. Doyle crosses, headed away. It'll drop towards McGree. The flag up, that bright lime green flag on the far side. And Michael Carrick wants his physios to wait before taking to the field. Meanwhile, Norwich are going to make a double change, Dean.
Yeah, it looks as if Forson, maybe Schwartau are the players that are going to come on. And ultimately, Doak is okay. So they're the sort of things that you just don't really want to see. He's clearly okay, yet he's been lying on the floor with his head on his hands, wanting the game to stop. The Middlesbrough...
And the referee can't do anything about that. He has to stop it, doesn't he?
Fair play to Michael Carrick, actually. He just didn't allow the physios to go on.
Here come the changes for Norwich. Slimani and Cernat go off, and as Dean mentioned, Amankwa Forson and Oscar Schwartau, both still seeking their first goals in Norwich City colours, are the two to come on. And well, it's youthful exuberance again in what is a young Norwich team, Dean. Forson is only 21 and Schwartau the 18-year-old.
Yeah, but that has been the line in which they're going. Is the recruitment has gone for young players, gone for potential, and they're looking to build something here. But ultimately, the Norwich supporters, when you're on the pitch, they want you to perform. So it doesn't matter really about your age.
Maybe a throw on the far side of the field for Middlesbrough. Nearly 20 minutes into the second half now. So Norwich, interestingly, have finally made that double substitution, and Sainz could be racing through the middle, and he's hit it onto the roof of the net. A bouncing, bobbling ball down the middle. Borja Sainz raced clear onto it. Great acceleration, but he couldn't keep the half volley down. Better for Norwich, but they're still trailed 3-1.
Yeah, just a headed ball over the top from Marcondes. Sainz was onto it. What's really difficult is he's got Dyke still on one side, he's got Edmondson on the other. He's trying to control the bouncing ball. He's then trying to volley it with the pressure on him, and he can't quite get himself set to make sure that dips underneath the crossbar. It's actually, I think, good defending to make it really difficult for him.
Well, that will encourage Norwich City. 25 minutes left. Schwartau can't get beyond the challenge of Hackney. Did well because he was behind the player there, Hayden Hackney, but managed to reach across him and get a well-timed tackle in. Kenny McLean has won it back for Norwich. There's a player down, it's Conway, but he's not holding his head, so no way the game needs to be stopped at this point. Hackney goes in firm but fair, and then sliding in is Duffy on Azaz, and Norwich needs something like that to get the crowd going, I think, here. And they are getting going for the first time really in the second half.
Yeah, a big Duffy challenge will usually do that here.
Norwich aren't going to let this home record go without a fight. Marcondes, dead centre, edge of the D, works it wide to the right-hand side. Forson attacking the corner of the penalty area. Forson left-footed shot, that's charged down by Hackney. It was goal-bound, and then the flag is up on the far side of the field. And look at the leadership there in the back four from George Edmondson. He punches the air, he celebrates the award of a free kick. Very experienced, the Ipswich loanee, like it's a goal. And Middlesbrough can just waste away a few seconds and dampen some of that Norwich momentum.
Yeah, which they've been very good at, actually, in this second half, Middlesbrough. They've already allowed a good 20 minutes go by without too much trouble. Kept possession. I think Michael Carrick would still like them to be a threat. He'd still feel as if they could get a fourth goal if they were to put together a couple of moves.
And Morris has lost out for once to Forson, who looks lively since coming on. Threads it up the inside right to Schwartau. Low ball in is turned away. Schwartau gets to it again. Norwich 1, Middlesbrough 3. Norwich with a lot of work still to do, but here's Cordoba. They look a little better now. Wide to the near side, the left, and Doyle. Corner of the penalty area, faced up by Doak, who does his defensive work well and diligently, and then Dyke Steele breaks up the play, and Azaz can counter. Run over the halfway line by McGree, who's timed his run brilliantly. Conway is to his left, racing to the edge of the area. McGree's held up play. He cuts onto his left foot. He lays it left to Conway. Conway's on a hat-trick here for Middlesbrough. Back it goes now to Hayden Hackney, through the legs of the defender. Then he's challenged at the very last moment by Cordoba, who then commits a foul, and it's a penalty. A penalty to Middlesbrough for that foul lunging by Cordoba, who looked to have got it away initially for Norwich City, but now Middlesbrough will get the chance to make it 4.
He just does not see McGree. He doesn't see him. He just runs from behind him, McGree, as he tries to get to the ball. Cordoba tries to flick it away. McGree just gets there first and takes a whack on the shin. It's definitely a penalty. It's clumsy from Cordoba. And Middlesbrough with a chance to get that 4.
Well, midway through the second half, this could be a defining moment ultimately in the game. It could be enough to win the match for Middlesbrough. Tommy Conway adjusting his socks. What a day this could turn into for him. He's already scored twice in the game. As he places the ball on the spot, he's up against George Long at the river end to, realistically, you would think at this point, if he were to score, put the game beyond Norwich City. Conway, right-footed. The fans behind the goal are trying to put him off. The referee's just making sure everybody is outside the edge of the penalty area. 3-1 to Middlesbrough at Norwich. Standing over the ball is Conway. The foul by Cordoba on McGree. And now the whistle of the referee. Conway right-footed. He's still waiting to run forward. Here he goes now for the hat-trick. Saved by Long. And he pounces on the loose ball. A penalty save from the goalkeeper. Conway denied the chance of a hat-trick. And Norwich are still alive.
Oh, what a poor penalty from Conway. The opportunity to take the match ball home, and you give that sort of an effort from the penalty spot. Absolutely woeful. But tell you what, George Long does the right thing. He doesn't commit himself when there's a stutter. He waits to see where Conway's going to go, and he just dives on the penalty as easy as you like.
And now you feel the momentum might change here. Riley McGree's been yellow carded for a late challenge. It was an unconvincing run-up by Tommy Conway. You see more and more of those stutters at the moment, Dean, as Middlesbrough make a double change now. Emmanuel Latte-Lath and Isaiah Jones coming on, and that missed penalty from Conway is his final kick of the game.
Yeah, it haunts you. It does. I can remember my misses like they were yesterday. You don't remember all the ones you score. The ones you miss hurt. They sting. They last like a scar. And he'll be so disappointed. He'll just really hope now that the team still go on and win the game.
A stuttered run-up, and the penalty save low to his left by Long. Easy save, really. It's nowhere near the bottom corner, is it? No penalty kick.
But you've got to give him credit because he doesn't commit himself. If he just commits himself and goes one way, then that ball just goes into the back of the net. He doesn't. He waits, and then he can react quick enough to get to the ball.
Well, here comes Jones, who gives Middlesbrough a bit more defensive discipline than Doak, and Latte-Lath, who was so impressive, 18 goals for Middlesbrough last season, and got his second of the campaign in the home victory over Sheffield United on Wednesday. Motherwell 0, Celtic 2, Rangers 1, St Mirren 1, latest scores. Arsenal Liverpool at 4:30, Rangers 2, St Mirren 1 now, north of the border. Norwich 1, Middlesbrough 3, but Norwich are still just about in it as the free kick is cleared, only as far as Doyle. Angle tight, left edge of the area, sets up Sainz. Great first touch. Carla, brilliant, fantastic. Sainz, superb. One touch to set himself, the other to curl it into the top corner. It's another mesmeric goal from Borja Sainz, and real hope in the game now for Norwich City. 19 minutes to go, and how crucial does that penalty miss from Tommy Conway and Middlesbrough look? Norwich 2, Middlesbrough 3.
It's another magical strike from Sainz. Give him the jacket and the hat because he's got his own wands. He's a magician, the boy. It's a magnificent finish. He takes a lovely first touch away from Morris, and then he just arcs it with power and whip and dip away from Dieng to that far top corner. Little touch from the goalkeeper, kisses the crossbar and down into the inside side netting. Beautiful again from Sainz.
Here we go, Dean. Here we go.
Just honestly, this game, it's, you know, Middlesbrough got that chance for the fourth goal with the penalty. It's missed. Norwich score. How things can change.
And here they come again, maybe. Sainz can't control the long ball, pinged up the left by Doyle. It's cleared away by Dijksteel. So Norwich 2, Middlesbrough 3 on Talksport 2. What a game for you on this Sunday afternoon. Quality from the Championship on your home of the EFL. And Borja Sainz, we were right behind it, weren't we, Dean? I think the goalkeeper may have got fingertips to it, but he's planted that right into the postage stamp. Top corner, unsavable.
Yeah, with absolute power and accuracy. So the goalkeeper can almost know it's happening, but to get to it when it's hit with such ferocity is so difficult.
So Middlesbrough missed the chance to go 4-1 up from 12 yards out. And now Norwich have brought themselves back to within a goal. Middlesbrough here with Hackney edge of the area. Wide right is Isaiah Jones to pull it back. Cleared away by Sparta. Now Sainz. He's going to dribble forward, the wizard that he is in the Championship. Square ball to Marcondes. He whips it to the right. Forson brings it down. On his overlap is Fisher. Forson goes up the middle, pushes it towards Sargent. Cleared away by Edmondson. We've got 17 minutes plus added time to go in a game that has produced 5 goals, and the scoring may not be done yet. Clear foul, Fisher on McGree. That'll be a yellow card.
It's just, for Middlesbrough, they have to think to themselves, Norwich are going to be having to go for it. Yes, you're going to have to defend properly, but there is going to be the opportunity for Middlesbrough to counter-attack. There's going to be gaps that open up for them. They've got players on the pitch that can still hurt Norwich City, with Latelaf and Jones coming onto the pitch. Just got to be a little bit savvy here, Michael Carrick's men.
Forward by Hackney from the free kick, right down the middle towards Latelaf, hooked away by Duffy and then hit by McGree high over the top into the lower tier of the River End. Amazing that Norwich switched off from that free kick, really did. I don't think anybody thought they were going to aim at Latelaf there.
No, it was so clever, wasn't it, from Hackney? And again, it's those sort of things. Middlesbrough can't think now we'll just try and defend for the rest of the game. They've got to realise that there might be a chance on the break too.
Norwich 2, Middlesbrough 3. Just over 15 minutes of normal time to go. What a finish under the lights on the way here at Carrow Road. Sainz has got Doyle on his outside. Sainz might not need him. Nudges it square to Doyle. Doyle delivers! Wide by Schwartau. 6 yards out. Massive opportunity. Wow, how this game has changed.
Hasn't it just? Sainz again, brilliant. Dribbling at Dijksteel. Cut it back to Doyle on the outside perfectly. Doyle spots Schwartau, who's there. He just can't open his body up enough, and he can't believe it. He pulls his shirt over his head because he knows from 6 yards all he has to do is just open that foot up and side foot it into the far corner. Gets too much on it.
He can't believe it, neither could his head coach, Johannes Hoftorup. Michael Carrick in conversation on the near side of the field with Jonathan Woodgate. He knows, Dean Ashton, his team are going to have to withstand 15 minutes, maybe more, of big pressure here.
But again, he'll want his players to understand that they can keep the ball. They don't have to panic. Get back to those things that they were good at in the first half, which they're trying to here.
Latelaf forward to Hackney, back towards Latelaf. Good interception by Duffy. The pace of Latelaf is such that even as Duffy played it back to the goalkeeper, for a second it looked like the Middlesbrough number 9 was going to make the interception. Norwich 2, Middlesbrough 3. 14 minutes to go. We've seen it so often, Dean. You just have to love this game. It would have been over had Conway scored the penalty, and now it's completely in the balance again.
I know, from 12 yards you just think should be the easiest thing in the world, but to stand there having to wait, and when it goes silent, it's difficult. One of the most difficult things, but I have a thought for him on the bench at the moment.
Great diagonal ball by Doyle, left to right, and Forson's tried to bring it down right by the dead ball line. He thought that he'd done it, but he couldn't keep it in play. It's a goal kick at the Barclay end for Middlesbrough. Arsenal 0, Liverpool 0, early stages in the Premier League, and Talksport and the Sunday session will keep you up to date with that. And Sam Matterface is in place at the Emirates Stadium after wins in the Premier League earlier for Chelsea, Crystal Palace and West Ham, who beat Manchester United 2-1 thanks to an injury time penalty. Clearance by Edmondson upfield for Middlesbrough. Well retrieved by McGree, who lets it run across his body and steers it to the right, and Dijksteel shy of the halfway line onto the number 11, Jones, who's a very versatile sort of player. Full-back, wing-back and winger. Now Morris back to the halfway line, and Dijksteel again. 13 minutes left, plus added time. Middlesbrough lead by the odd goal in 5. Here is Hayden Hackney, the captain. Forward to McGree, breaking in between the lines. Wide right is Jones again, taking on Doyle. Corner of the penalty area, couldn't squeeze the ball infield, and Doyle sliding in. He's prevented the corner there, done well. Throw to Middlesbrough. Who knows what those Middlesbrough fans in red are thinking now on the far side of the field as we look at it. Middle section of the south stand. Now here is Jones infield, poor pass intercepted by Schwartau, who clears but not to a yellow shirt. It's won back by Vandenberg, and Dijksteel turns away from Sainz, no foul. Hackney 25 yards out right of centre has fizzed that into the feet of McGree, who couldn't control it. Cordoba thought he'd won a free kick, wanted handball by McGree, nothing given. Middlesbrough work it wide. Jones blocked off by Doyle, who then pirouettes on the ball, gets it back from Marcondes. And Norwich a little slow to get the ball out of the penalty area. Marcondes eventually turns. Johnny Howson's going to come on against his old club for Middlesbrough in just a moment. And Marcondes with an elegant ball crossfield to the right. And Shane Duffy. Is there going to be a chance in these 12 minutes plus added time, I wonder, for Norwich City, Dean Nash?
You would expect so. They're going to give it a real go, that's for sure. I just wonder, Sargent's barely been in the game. You know, you can wait and wait as a striker, and could his moment come?
Howson getting some final instructions from Michael Carrick. He will come on to do a more defensive job in front of that back four, no doubt. Give Middlesbrough greater physicality and shape off the ball. McLean in the centre circle, threads the ball wide left to the near side. It's the former Brentford man Marcondes. Needs a couple of touches and a little ponderous as he pings that crossfield. It's a good ball to the right and Fisher, but he's got to take on Borges. Infield it goes to Schwartau. Back out wide to the right. Fisher takes a touch. Crosses! Oh, and it's in! It's caught out the goalkeeper! Maybe an own goal from Dieng. It was hit by Fisher, and Norwich have come all the way back from 3-1 down. It's now 3-3. It's a nightmare for Senny Dieng, the Middlesbrough goalkeeper. The cross from Fisher totally deceived him, and it really is Fortress Carrow Road. Norwich 3, Middlesbrough 3, and this stadium is bouncing.
Lucky. There's absolutely no way Fisher means this. He gets out of his feet, looking to curl that in towards Sargent, who was in the penalty area. It goes just past the near post. So unlucky for the goalkeeper.
It's an own goal from Dieng. It's hit the post and then bounced off his trailing leg, his foot. And now Norwich come forward again. Schwartau down the middle. He threads it left to Borja Sainz. He's beyond Dijksteel. He's not beyond the tremendous tackle of Finazaz. 3-3. 10 minutes to go. Talksport 2. Here come Middlesbrough with Magria. They hit that pass towards the left and Latte Lath, and Johnny Howson is going to come on anyway. Dijksteel's gone down.
I mean, of course, Semi Dieng will get the criticism. Of course he will. But he's not to know. It's so difficult as a goalkeeper. You've got to position yourself so that you're ready to come for the cross. He's not left much of a gap, and it's almost a shank from Fisher. He's then hit a little bit of the post, hit his gloves, hit his foot as his feet are then coming after him and got into the net. It's just one of those freak goals.
Johnny Howson for Riley McGree, the Middlesbrough change. Luke Ayling's going to come on as well. He's going to replace Dijksteel, who can't continue. He's receiving treatment. So 3-3. At the moment, Kellen Fisher's been credited with it. Arsenal 1, Liverpool 0 in the Premier League. Bukayo Saka. Talk Sport with all your updates in detail of that one. And confirmation of Ayling on for Dijksteel. And so, how do Norwich look at it now, Dean, with less than 10 minutes left? Do they go for the win?
Well, of course they do. Of course they do. They've got the momentum. You would be thinking there's frailties mentally now for Middlesbrough, having been within a chance of going to 4-1.
In comes Ayling with his hair tied back, as is his trademark. Dijksteel leaves the field injured, and Middlesbrough have lost a 2-goal lead. They were 3-1 up, they missed a penalty, and now Norwich have made it 3-3. And Norwich are looking for a winner now. Borja Sainz, square ball to Forson on the halfway line. Even if it was a bit of luck, well, a big bit of luck, you've got to credit Norwich City for the comeback, Dean Ashton.
Yeah, I mean, look, they've shown the energy that you need to get yourselves back into the game. The changes clearly have worked as well from the manager, which is what you will be judged on at times in big games, especially at home when you're trailing. He made the changes and it has made a difference.
They're going to bring on Jack Stacey in just a moment. It has been changed to a Dieng own goal. It had to be, because the ball hit the post. It was spinning away from Fisher's miss-hit cross and then rebounded in off Dieng.
Yeah, well, he actually made the save with his hands to keep it out, but then it's hit his feet that are trailing behind him.
Here is a long ball by Duffy, thundered up the inside right channel. Edmondson heads it away, only as far as Fisher. He'll be urged to shoot now. Infield to Schwartau. 3-3 the score in the Championship. 7 games to go. There's 7 games, 7 minutes to go. A lot more than 7 games. Not sure if we can cope with it if it's going to all be like this. Here's the Norwich change, and it's Marcondes off and Jack Stacey onto the field now.
Yeah, I just wonder whether Fisher could go into midfield. which is what they're looking across. I think McLean's just asking what the slight change is going to be.
Let's see if that means anything different for Norwich in terms of the way that they set up in the game now. Delia Smith and Michael Wynne-Jones both here today. They are no longer Norwich shareholders, but they are honorary life presidents, and they are in their usual seats here in the main stand to our right. 3-3, Jones in the centre circle, 6 minutes left plus added time. Well, at the moment, Norwich have got the momentum in the beauty of a game that looked like it was totally gone for them.
Yeah, and Fisher has gone into midfield, and Stacey will look to maraud down the right-hand side, which is his big strength.
All is played back by Forson, all the way to the feet of the goalkeeper. Long in that claret and orange kit, square to Cordoba. The sky is darkening now up ahead. The nights start to draw in, I'm afraid. Now that the clocks have changed, Cordoba left centre half. And that's a poor chip forward. He's not had a great game today, Cordoba, but the ball has reached sights on halfway. Square ball to Fisher, middle of midfield, pings a high diagonal out to the right, and Forson will let it run across his body, and I think Stacey was expecting him to bring it down. They got in each other's way, and it's a Middlesbrough throw. And Neto Borges chests it down. I wonder what Michael Carrick thinks now, Dean. Does he take a point, or does he try and go for it?
Really difficult. He'll of course be thinking of the penalty and how crucial that clearly was.
Maybe it encapsulates Middlesbrough's season to some extent, the way the game has gone for them today. They were so comfortable until about the 67th minute when that penalty was missed. Norwich 3, Middlesbrough 3. Big diagonal ball by Duffy. 4.5 to go. Header away by Ayling, who's now stretching to bring it down in the right back position. He will play it calmly forward to Morris. Infield to Azaz. That's out to play. How the momentum has shifted. Middlesbrough suddenly can't keep the ball, not nearly as effectively as they were doing earlier on. Live on Talksport 2. Kenny McLean in the centre circle. He's managed to find Fisher. Now on halfway is Doyle to Cordoba. Cordoba, midway inside his own half, turns away from Latte Lath, who's not really putting him under any great pressure. Square to Duffy once again. Stacey moves infield, but then caught out by the ball from Duffy. That's twice now Stacey's looked a little off the pace in the game, having obviously only just come on. Here come Middlesbrough now. 3.5 minutes of normal time to go. The ball is nearly worked wide to Jones by Hackney, who wasn't happy with Jones's positioning. That's a great pass by Doyle. Ball has sights through the middle, left edge of the penalty area. Tried to find Sargent. Comes down towards Forson, and he's beaten to it by Borges. And then a lunge from McLean. Really poorly timed tackle. Kenny McLean is going to be in trouble here, and he's sent off. McLean is off. And Norwich will play the last 3 minutes plus added time with 10 men. It was a reckless lunge from Kenny McLean as the Middlesbrough player Hackney surged towards halfway, and the referee sees fit to produce a straight red card. Norwich 3, Middlesbrough 3, Norwich down to 10.
Well, he did go flying in to Hackney, and it's high, and I just wondered, because of the height of the challenge, the referee James Bell took his time, and I have to agree with the decision that he's made. That could have been extremely, extremely nasty for Hayden Hackney, and maybe just that little bit of intensity from Kenny McLean, desperate for his team to win the game, has just gone overboard.
So Norwich down to 10, and Johannes Hoftorp may have to rethink his mindset in the final few minutes. A standing ovation for McLean. His run of league starts for Norwich then will come to an end. This was number 60 in a row in the league today, including the playoffs last season, but he will face a ban as he heads down the tunnel, and Norwich are going to make a substitution and bring on Jakob Sorensen for just his second appearance of the campaign. Norwich 3, Middlesbrough 3, and Norwich down to 10. Well, I can't believe anybody would be leaving early with just over 90 seconds of normal time to go. And can Middlesbrough reassert themselves here with a man advantage? Borges, infield from the left for them. It was a bad foul on Hackney, who He's okay to carry on. Hackney, the captain for Middlesbrough, with his back to goal. Plays it back to Johnny Howson. Not really had a kick since coming on against his old club. Now, Latte Lath. Backwards to Howson again. Latte Lath is a long way from goal. About 10 yards from the corner of the penalty area or so. Howson feeds the ball up the inside left channel, and the ball is laid square to Latte Lath, takes a deflection, and George Long is there to bounce on the loose ball and gather it for Norwich. 3-3, Norwich down to 10. Johannes Hoff-Torup is calling for more of the Norwich substitutes. I think he wants to make more than one change here, and maybe a sign that as we go into the last minute of normal time, Dean Ashton, with added time to come, maybe he is happy now to settle for a point.
Possibly, but again, all of a sudden things can change, and Middlesbrough fancy winning it towards the end of this game.
Sargent has done well to win Norwich a throw. Left wing position near side. He hasn't actually been involved in the game all that much.
No, and actually in the end, for that last chance that Norwich had before the red card, Sainz went through dribbling, and he actually tried to find Sargent because he'd probably been told off too many times. He thought, I better try and find him, when he probably should have gone himself at that moment.
Off goes Morris for Middlesbrough. On comes 20-year-old Micah Hamilton. And for Norwich City, it's Borja Sainz going off. 2 wonder goals again today. Now up to 11 in all competitions this season. The wizard of the wing. And Jakob Sorensen will replace him. The other change, Josh Sargent going off. And he gets a standing ovation too. We mentioned we hadn't seen much of Sargent in the match. And the Liverpool loanee, Cade Gordon, comes on. 6 minutes of added time. 10 men of Norwich 3, Middlesbrough 3. Dean Ashton, wow.
I am a little bit surprised, not going to lie. Yes, you're a man down, but with 5 minutes left and you've already come back from 2 goals down, why wouldn't you have one of your two? I mean, you leave Sainz on. You just leave him on because he's capable of something special. He's already shown that twice. Really strange for me, that.
Arsenal 1, Liverpool 1 in the Premier League. Virgil van Dijk with the equaliser for Liverpool. Norwich 3, Middlesbrough 3. Norwich down to 10. We've nearly had a minute of the 6 added. Kellen Fisher, who's standing almost in the left wing position now, will take a throw. He's played all around the field today. Long throw up the near side touchline, flicked in field by a young Cade Gordon, who scored his first Norwich goal on his birthday a couple of weeks ago. Middlesbrough win it back. Middlesbrough now, having blown a 3-1 lead with Hackney up towards the halfway line. Hackney chips the ball down the inside right, and Fisher with the challenge on Jones. He's got to be careful on a yellow card. Middlesbrough look to the referee, nothing given. What do you made of the referee's performance today, Dean? Has he got the big calls right?
Well, he got the penalty right, that's for sure. And I think he got the red card right. I think the bits in between you could have questioned, but look, ultimately we've had an incredibly entertaining game between two sides that are very, very evenly matched in this division, who you'd expect to be in and around the playoffs for sure. So I don't think the referee is going to be the person particularly that we look back on in this game. More a case of two really good sides that have had a right good go at each other.
4 minutes of added time to go. Norwich 3, Middlesbrough 3. Norwich without their captain, Kenny McLean, has been sent off. Jack Stacey for them on the halfway line. Sandwich in between two sky blue and white striped shirts. And now Latte Lath for Middlesbrough, very fleet-footed in possession. He's tried to spin away from Forson, Stacey and Gordon, who all have to track back to dispossess him. And Latte Lath has got a throw. Now it's Azaz, midway inside the Norwich half. 2.5 minutes through the 6 added now. Azaz has pushed the ball forward to Hackney. Half tackled. It'll drop for Stacey in the right back area. Under pressure from Hackney, and Stacey drives the ball clear. Middlesbrough throw just inside the Norwich half. Nobody's moving a muscle. Nobody's leaving Carrow Road early today. We are nearly halfway through allotted added time, and there may be a few seconds to come after that. The sides have shared 6 goals equally. What a game. 3-3. Talksport 2. This is why we're your home of the EFL. Howson's ball up the right-hand side, blocked off by Doyle once and then twice to deny Ayling. Gordon fouled by Azaz. Free kick to Norwich, midway inside their own half.
Yeah, they're just trying to see this out, Norwich, aren't they? With the substitutions that the manager's made, is a clear sign of the fact that he knows they've done a good job to get level. Let's keep the point. and keep Middlesbrough out.
Championship classic for the early season, Dean. It feels like one of the games of the season, doesn't it?
It's been terrific. It has. I'm not quite sure we've learned that much about the genuine credentials of these two teams for promotion or possible promotion.
But for entertainment and quality of football, we know they'll both be up there. 3-3. Just over 2 minutes of added time to go. There's a throw to Middlesbrough in the right-back position. Norwich fans right in front of us in their dozens out of their seats to protest the decision of the referee. Norwich with the 10 men have come from 3-1 down. Middlesbrough with Edmondson over the halfway line. He's pushed it to the left of Neto Borges. Less than 2 minutes of added time remain. Nervy atmosphere now at Carrow Road. Hackney has held the ball up and found Hamilton. Left wing position infield to Azaz. He is robbed of possession. Now Norwich with Gordon on the break maybe. Scampers towards halfway. Howson there to block him off and win it back. Uses experience. Lovely back heel Hackney. Out to the left and Hamilton. He's beyond the defender. Hamilton into the area. Cuts it back. Here comes Azaz. Can he reach it? No. Good interception by Duffy. Duffy smashes the ball clear. Minute and 20 seconds to go. 3-3.
Yeah, just a little bit of naivety there from Kay Gordon. Trying to dribble through rather than just playing that ball down the side. Allowing Middlesbrough to put some pressure on.
Vandenberg to Howson in the centre circle. Everybody back behind the ball now for Norwich City. A minute of added time left. Norwich 3, Middlesbrough 3. Howson 30 yards out. Right of centre is Ayling. Ayling to cross. Good header up into the air by Duffy, but not fully clear just yet. Could drop on the edge of the area. Could be struck by Howson. He's had to play it square. Back to Edmondson now, and further back is Vandenberg, about 20 yards from the edge of the area. Norwich again with everyone back behind the ball. Here is Jones, corner of the penalty area. Infield to Azaz. Azaz on the corner of the 18-yard box again. No way through. Lovely turn by Jones. Initially away from Fisher. He's not beyond Doyle. He's played it back to Ayling. He's found Azaz in the area. Azaz onto his left foot, then maybe back onto his right. The angle's tight. He's tried to squeeze it through. Hooked away by Forson. Norwich defending resolutely. 15 seconds left. The 10 men of Norwich 3, Middlesbrough 3 on Talksport 2. Is there time for one last chance? Time is nearly up. Norwich fans are baying for the whistle. There are all eyes on the referee. Jones has got Ayling on his outside. First time cross, poor. Blocked by Doyle, scooped away by Fisher. Still the whistle doesn't go. We've had the 6 minutes of added time now. Jones taking on Fisher in a one-on-one. Fisher does well to win it back off him. Fisher under pressure, down by his own corner flag, he's fouled. Free kick Norwich, that should be enough for a point for them.
Feels it. Feels like they've just done enough as they're starting to tire. And actually he'll look back and think it's a very, very good point considering where they were. And Middlesbrough will be so disappointed because they played so well in the game.
Seen a shot of Borja Sainz watching the last few seconds on the monitor. George Long, the goalkeeper, has gone across to take the free kick. His penalty save at 3-1 down proved crucial in this game. It has helped Norwich earn a point in an early season championship classic as Middlesbrough throw away a 3-1 lead. It finishes Norwich 3, Middlesbrough 3, and Norwich will go an entire year without losing at home in any competition. Handshakes at the end. There is a word from Johannes Hoftorup, the Norwich head coach, towards the fourth official. Norwich had Kenny McLean sent off late in normal time, so in the end they had to settle for a point when at one stage it looked like they might go for all three. But my, how Middlesbrough were in control at one stage. A game that really seesawed. Norwich took the lead early on through another fine goal from Borja Sainz. Middlesbrough's fine football put them 3-1 up by half-time. Tommy Conway on the score sheet twice, Finn Azaz with the other, and then the key turning point came when Conway had the chance to complete his hat-trick midway through the second half. A poor penalty saved by Long, and then Sainz with his second spectacular goal of the day, followed by an unfortunate own goal from the Middlesbrough goalkeeper Seny Dieng. Norwich held out after McLean sending off. Norwich 3, Middlesbrough 3. One of the games that as a neutral, Dean Ashton, you just don't want to end.
Well, we'd hoped that it was going to be a terrific game because of the two sides and the form they're in and the form that they've shown and the way that they play, and it didn't disappoint. Middlesbrough, I thought, was so impressive in that first half. Genuinely, really, really impressed and was thinking to myself, if they can produce this more on a regular basis, they'll absolutely be up there for automatic, let alone for the playoffs. But then a little bit of fragility, both from Conway in terms of the penalty itself. He's got to take that. He's got to put his side 4-1 ahead. He's got to get his hat-trick. The failure of that affected the whole team. And that's something that Michael Carrick could be really disappointed about. But in Boyer Science, Norwich have got a seriously special talent.
Where is he at in terms of best players in the Championship?
Well,
team?
he is.
I mean, he's the leading scorer, but is he at the top at the moment?
Of course he is, because you just felt every time he got it, he's capable of doing something and bringing something and creating something because of his intensity and the quality that he brings. And they've unearthed another fantastic player that, if they can keep him, will give them a real chance to look for the playoffs.
That equaliser at the end. Well, not at the end, but with plenty of time to go from Kellen Fisher. 19 minutes left when he made it 3-3. So unfortunate for Seny Dieng. It's hit the post and then hit his trailing foot and gone into the back of the net. It's a nightmare for the goalkeeper, but he couldn't do much about it.
I think those goals are so difficult for goal. They're not expecting it, of course. They have to try and get their angles right. They work on it so much. But ultimately, it shanked off Fisher's foot. It's gone right next to the near post. It's clipped the near post. He's made a great save. Then he's so unfortunate that his legs sort of bring the ball into the goal. And he certainly didn't deserve that. But credit to Norwich. I thought the substitutions that were made a difference. And that's what you've got to try and do when you're at home. And that's why they've gone so long being unbeaten here, is because of that character.
Game of the Championship season so far?
For me, yeah, terrific.